Hey guys, how are you doing? It's Simon from Bizlearn again. Hi and welcome to another NX CAD Secrets tutorial. Today I would like to show you how to create such a flexible tube, which you can easily apply to any type of curve. As you can see, everything maintains stable. It's hollow, it's also hollow on the back side. All the radius maintain and especially the shape maintains. The question is, how do you do that? It's pretty simple. It really is pretty simple. It's just one complex function, which is my curve that I have to create, and the rest is out-of-the-box modeling stuff. But anyway, there is something that many people do wrong. It's the boolean operation and the question of tool and target, which I'm trying to solve and explain you within this tutorial. But therefore, I will completely start from scratch. I've created a new empty file and directly gonna start with my curve, which I'm gonna select from my curve tab. You could create a sketch, you could create a line, but every time I create something that should be flexible in the end, I'm gonna start with something complex, even if it is not in the first case, but start with something complex to make sure that it's gonna work. And I've chosen to use spline by poles. I'm gonna reset this, show you by poles and single segment. That's my favorite spline to create class A surfaces. I'm gonna move this a little bit because otherwise it would be two-dimensional, but I want something three-dimensional here. And we don't need a coordinate system here, but we need a copy of our spline. And why we need the copy, I will explain you later when the part is finished. And therefore, I use my composite curve. And you can use it as it comes out of the box. Just reset and select your spline in the part navigator. Why do I select in the part navigator? Because if I right click my selection, you can see it's feature curves selection rule used. And I'm gonna create something extremely simple. It's an extrude. And we need a sketch in here, so I'm gonna access my sketch dialog with my middle mouse button. And also here I'm going to reset. You have two choices here on plane on path. As I said, we don't need a coordinate system. Of course, it's only on path possible. Do not use anything else because otherwise it's not going to work. We need a relation to this path. And it's pretty simple. Also here you can see it's tangent curves, but anyway, no matter what is declared here, if you select in the part navigator, it will always be feature. The location here is very important. You have two possibilities here which might be interesting. One of them is percentage. You can switch between 0 or 100 if you want something that is always on the start of a curve, no matter how long the curve will get. But anyway, we will start from here and we need a distance value here. The question now is, how much is the distance between your single segments? And mine is 10. So I'm gonna start at 5 millimeters. And you need to do a millimeter value, no percentage value, because if the length of your curve will increase, this distance will differ. So something I want to avoid. Next step is pretty simple. My sketch is normal to my path. So everything I create here is perpendicular. Just need to create a simple circle. And it will be extruded, as you can see. My default value is 10, that's okay, but I want something symmetric. And it could be a little bit longer than the instance distance because we need an intersection here. It can be longer, no problem. I need a draft in here from section and symmetric. Why do I create it in here? Why do I not use my draft function? Because when you use draft function, you need a draft direction, which we don't have. And we need a plane, which we don't have. We don't have anything here, so that's why I created within my extrude. It's 45 degrees in my case, and middle mouse button is used to finish the command and apply my values. I'm gonna create my edge blend next, because I always create edge blends when it's possible. And you can see it's body edges upon here, meaning it's a relation to the overall body instead of single curves. So if I change my geometry to something whatever, to something rectangle, it will still all its body edges be blended. Of course, in this case, nothing will change, but anyway, it's just one click on the object and makes life easier. And it's a relation to my possibly oldest object, the overall body, not its face and not its edges. We can go on with the creation of our pattern here. And I'm not going to use pattern feature, I'm going to use pattern geometry instead. Because if you have a very, very long tube and a lot of instances and a couple of features as well, which are going to be copied, this one will calculate very, very long. This is something I want to avoid. So I'm going to use pattern geometry, which is much more simpler. In older versions of NX, I guess NX 7.5 or even 8.5, it's called instance geometry. And if you have the path layout in here, and I think you do, you should not select like I do within the part navigator. In older versions, use your quick pick solid body like this. The pattern method is of course along. There's nothing special we have to define below here. It's just two values we have to define. And it's the spacing method, which shall be pitch and span. And of course my pitch is a millimeter value. And my location here, my span distance, the distance from here to here, shall be 100%. But I forgot to select the path, so that's what I'm going to do now. And I'm also going to reference to my composite curve again. And here is my result. Next step is the boolean operation. And for many of you, it seems the simple step at all. Just open Unite and select Target and Tools. But this is, in most of the cases, a very, very worse scenario. Because the question, which one shall be used as a target, isn't really solved. Many people select the nearest object, like maybe this one, or the biggest object first, but this will cause a lot of problems if you do not think about your target. And I would think about my target, which one to select first. Of course, something that maintains stable, because if I select, for example, number 7 here, and the number of instances will be number 6 after shortening my spline, however, your target won't be calculated, so the boolean operation will fail. And of course, in that case, we will use the first object, and it's the extrude, as a target. Anyway, if you create boolean operation, and I will do another video because so many people do it wrong and cause so much problems. Calculation time will increase. Your problems will increase when modifying things. If you select your target, select your possibly oldest object. Horizontal modeling. If not, and if you modify something, the possibility of failures will be that high. Select the oldest body first as a target. And when I'm talking about boolean operations, I'm not talking about unite and subtract and intersect. I'm talking about commands like faceplant. I'm talking about commands like, however, trim and extend, zoom. Those are all boolean operations. And I've seen so many people doing it wrong, and they wonder why colors appear which they haven't declared, why things get broken after modifications. If you delete one of your 1000 features, why do 500 following features fail? And the reason is always the same. It's a boolean operation. But why those problems appear, I'm gonna solve in another video. Let's go on with our tube. Another problem we have, I've seen so many people selecting like this, your tools, okay? But what happens if the number of instances will increase? It won't be selected. Why? Because I will create a reference to single body, but we have feature bodies in here. The possibly oldest object is my feature, it's not my single body. It's my pattern. And if you select within your part navigator, as I did, independent from this declared selection rule, it will be feature bodies. All the bodies of this feature. So next step is to create a blend of my intersection curves. I'm going to use my edge blend therefore. And define a selection rule, feature intersection edges. It's just one click on the feature unite, here or here, however, and all the intersection edges will be blended. So I want to open this, but I also want to cut it here. And that's the reason why I've decided to start not from 0 with the extrude, but from a value of 5 millimeters. But we need some planes, therefore I'm gonna create a datum plane related to my composite curve. So this is my third relation to a composite curve. It was the extrude related to a composite curve, it was the pattern, and it's now my datum plane. I'm gonna start from 0, and here it's percentage. That's important now because I'm gonna create another one on 100%, and I'm gonna change direction here. And I'm gonna trim my body like this. And I could now create another datum plane and another trim, or just copy and paste those things. Select them, Ctrl C, Ctrl V. And I'm just gonna reverse, I think, my direction. So you could just hit OK, like this, and it will be copied to the same place here. But now I have to reverse one direction. It's my value within my datum plane. I'm just gonna redo this. Select them again, copy paste, and now I'm gonna select my composite curve because now I can change my direction here. That's pretty cool. And I'm gonna create my shell next. Here the selection rule is not that important. It's just one click on your start and another click here. And your selection rule here could be single face as well. It will maintain stable. Why? Because we have created new faces by using trim body. If you select your trim body here, you can see there's a new related face, and we have created a relation to this specific face. And it's only one face. The number will never change because it's trimmed by a datum plane. Also here. And even if there's no trim required, make a trim because you will create a new specific individual face. Why do I do that? It seems to be so complex, but in the end it will save you a lot of time because you will never have to modify your shell after a modification of your part. Let's say, for example, I'm gonna increase my spline like this. You can see it is still hollow here. If I haven't created my trim body and related to this face, it would be even hard because there was an edge bend before. The shell function would break every time. So let's now solve the question why I've created this composite curve. It makes replacement easier. There's nothing to replace, so I'm gonna create just a simple line like this. There are two ways of replacing now. You can right click your spline, replace by the line. Middle mouse button to select your replacement feature, line. And there's no other question to be solved, so hit OK, it's replaced. If you are familiar with replace and you use it a lot, I guess you would prefer it. But anyway, I would include a composite curve to get things more stable. If you're not familiar with replace, just double click your composite curve and select your alternate solution. The cool thing is here, you won't have to replace your curve within the extrude, you won't have to replace it here, and also within your datum planes. You just have to replace it within your composite curve. That's the main reason I've created this composite curve. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. It was a little bit longer than I've expected to, because I've explained more than I wanted. But anyway, if you have further questions, use the comment functions within YouTube. If you enjoyed the video, of course, use the like button and subscribe my channel to get informed about new content, which I usually create several times in a week. Have a nice day. Bye.